Hi, Mike here. You're watching Scout Restoration Yukon. In this video, I will continue with the dashboard assembly. All the details, starting with the ashtray, then the heater switch and the radio. Then I extract a bolt from the radio bracket. Next, testing, lubricating, and installing the vacuum wiper switches. Finally, I install the fuel gauge selector and the choke cable. This is not a how-to video. It's a how I do video. I hope you like it. Let's get to work. If you want to help, please subscribe to Scout Restoration Yukon. It's free. Mike Morrow, over and out. This is the ashtray for the Scout. As you can see, it's pretty rusty. I'll just let it soak overnight in the evaporust. This is the heater, electrical fan switch, and it has a cable in it that controls the airflow. So what I do with these cables is I put them in the vise, and every once in a while I'm walking by, I spray a little bit of lubricant. I'm using 3-in-1 silicone lubricant. And every once in a while I just squirt some in there, and eventually it works its way down into the cable. There's the 3-in-1 lubricant. So moving right along here, the combination heater fan switch and pull cable for the vent has been lubricated. I removed as much of the blue paint as I could from the cable cover, and I painted it black. So now I'm ready to install this switch into the dashboard. So the first thing I have to do is remove the knob. It's the only knob that's got blue paint inside. So I'm considering painting inside these knobs with the body color, which would be aspen green. But that'll be later on. Right now, I just want to install the switch. So the switch has a flat spot on it that goes up. That's the orientation's correct. Just have to put this nut on here. There's probably a special tool for this, but it works pretty good to tighten this with a screwdriver. Of course, the knob has a slot in it also, orientation wise. Just tighten up that screw for the time being. Not tight enough. That's a bit tighter. So that's good to go. Here's the rusty old ashtray after soaking in evaporust for a couple of days. It's pretty well rust free. I rinsed it in cold water and then blew it dry with compressed air, and then I dried it really good with a heat gun. So now I'm going to paint it black semi-gloss with a self-etching paint. Several coats. This is the original radio from the Scout. I will now spend some time cleaning up the knobs and the face of the radio. Note that one of the push buttons is broken. So I took this radio outside with a battery and an antenna and a speaker, and I tried it, and it seems to work. Although it's only an AM radio and there's no AM reception here, but I believe the radio will work. Then I cleaned it up with some alcohol and various different things and polished it up a little bit best I could. After that, I soaked the knobs in vinegar for a little while, and they came out quite clean. I rinsed them in water and blew them off. They came out pretty good. So I'm just going to tighten up this radio. All right. Next thing is the dash trim, the radio trim. You can go either like that or like that. I believe it went like that before. I was very lucky to find an original radio in my white Scout. It's looking good. Lower this down a little bit. So this little bracket that supports the radio, it's a little bit rusty and it needs painted, but there's a broken bolt here. So I have to extract this broken bolt. So this is the broken bolt. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to cut a slot in it so that I can use a screwdriver to unscrew it. Just a little bit, huh? Not enough. Try going a little deeper. Okay, now got a little bit. My next move is to heat that red hot and let it shrink. 20 minutes later, the bolt has shrunk. Look at that. It unscrewed right out of there. Voila. So while I'm waiting for some paint to dry, I've moved over to this side here. I'm going to put this piece of dash trim on here. Start over here with the ignition switch. There's a little notch and a little locator tab on there. I'm just going to do that finger tight. The next one is the light switch. It's got a flat spot. The flat goes up. Put that one there. Finger tight. For now, here's the light switch knob. Just putting a little bit of silicone lubricant. Let's stop that squeak. Attention, fellow Scout enthusiasts. Thanks for watching. I hope that you're getting useful insights from my videos. If I can earn 1,000 subscribers, I will be able to create Scout videos for a long time. Please like and subscribe so that we can continue this journey for years to come. I will show all the details. Over and out. This is a vacuum motor switch for the wipers. It has 3 hoses. This is vacuum. The center one is vacuum from the engine. All the switch does, if you look at the back of the switch, there's the switch. All it does is either cover one port or the other port. So in other words, you have engine vacuum here, and the switch directs the engine vacuum to the bigger hose to run the wiper motor and the smaller hose to shut off the wiper motor because it needs vacuum to stop it, or you would have a vacuum leak on your engine. You don't want that. So I've got my vacuum pump, my hand vacuum pump here on the switch, right? And I switched it all the way over to the smaller line. So I can get a little bit of vacuum on there, and when I take my finger off, the gauge goes down, so it's working. Now if I switch the switch the other way, same thing, see? Right. But what I'm going to do now, one by one, I'm going to remove these hoses, and I'm just going to put a little bit of air tool oil. I'm using cold weather air tool oil, which actually has antifreeze in it. I don't believe in using brake fluid. The manual says to use brake fluid. Brake fluid sucks water. I'm not using brake fluid. I'm using this. So now I've got my lines on again. So it's lubricated. I got the valve turned towards the smaller hose. Now, you can hear it when I take my finger off. Now I turn it the other way. You see, you get some vacuum. And when I take my finger off, so they're working and they're not leaking. It's a pretty crude way to test it, but I do believe it worked. So I'm quite happy with that. They're both working. Before I install the wiper switches, there's one more clip for the dash trim here beside the radio at the far end of the steering column piece. I'm now installing the driver's side wiper switch, which has a locator tab on the bottom, and there's a notch in the dash. I'll just tighten up this nut, tighten it a bit for now. Just gently snugging this knob. These knobs are all going to come off again and get painted body color. Now installing the second wiper switch, which is for the passenger side. It also has a locator notch at the bottom of the switch, like so. Whoa. The notch is lined up. Just tighten up the nut. Tight enough for now. Put the knob on. Flat spot is down. Like so. I want to turn this a little bit. Now, flat spot is here. Let's tighten that up. This toggle switch here selects which fuel tank you want the fuel gauge to read, left or right. This button here is for the wiper washer. I don't know if we will have wiper washer or not, but it's definitely a possibility. Now I'm going to install the choke cable on here, which has a flat on one side. The flat goes down. Then I'm just going to flip this over and put on a flat washer and a nut. I already lubricated the cable. I'll just tighten that up with a 9/16 wrench. So that's tight, and it moves in and out like it should. I believe you can lock it. Yeah, see, you can twist and lock wherever you want it to be. That's pretty cool. In conclusion, the dash is coming together very well. All the components seem to be in good working condition. I have a handle on most of the wiring. No big mysteries yet. In my next video, Dash Assembly 2, I continue with the trim, the ashtray, throttle cable, glove box, speakers, and some miscellaneous wiring. I hope you like it. If you want to help, please subscribe to Scout Restoration Yukon. It's free. Mike Morrow, over and out.